Nothing's possible. If you try to do it, at least you have the hope. But I had a lot of fail. I failed for funny things that I failed a key primary school test for 2 times. And I failed 3 times for the middle schools. So I applied jobs for 30 times, got rejected. I went for a police, they said, no, you're not good. I went to even the KFC. When KFC came to China, come to my city, 24 people went for the job. 23 people were accepted. I was the only one guy. And we went for police. 5 people, 4 of them accepted. I was the only guy that I received it. So I applied for Harvard for 10 times, rejected. Guys, we have to work hard, not for ourselves. If we can be successful, 80% of the young people in China can be successful. We don't have a rich father, powerful uncle. We don't have $1 from bank, 1 cent from government. Just work as a team.
Once it failed, we would have been dead. So multiple failures along the way. If things had just gone a little bit the other way, both companies would be dead. And I had, like, one of the most difficult choices I have ever faced in life was in 2008. I think I had maybe $30 million left, or $30 or $40 million left in 2008. I had 2 choices. I could put it all into one company, and then the other company would definitely die, or split it between the 2 companies. But if I split it between the 2 companies, then both might die. When you put your blood, sweat, and tears into creating something, or building something, it's like a child. And so it's like, which one am I going to let one starve to death? I couldn't bring myself to do it, so I split the money between the 2. Fortunately, thank goodness, they both came through. We almost did die at SpaceX, actually. So I budgeted for 3 flights. I had the money from PayPal. I had like about 180 million from PayPal. And I thought, you know, I'll allocate half of that to SpaceX and Tesla and Solar City. Things cost more and took longer than I thought, so I had a choice of either put the rest of the money in or the companies are going to die. And it's like, so I ended up putting all the money in, and 2008 was brutal. 2008 we had the 3rd consecutive failure of the Falcon 1 rocket for SpaceX. Tesla almost went bankrupt. We closed our financing round 6 p.m. Christmas Eve. SpaceX, the first 3 launches failed, and we were just barely able to scrape together enough parts and money to do the 4th launch. If that 4th launch had failed, we would have been dead. So multiple failures along the way. I tried very hard to get the right expertise in for SpaceX. I tried hard to find a great chief engineer for the rocket, but the good chief engineers wouldn't join, and ended up being chief engineer of the rocket.
And now we've got, this is not much of an exaggeration, from Forrest Gump, literally, Forrest Gump IQ types to 180 IQ. And the lower the IQ, the more money they make.
Explain that to people, if they don't get that.
Okay. Guys like yourself.
Yeah, how come I could be successful then?
Okay, well, you could be a lot more successful if you had 30 points less IQ.
Explain that too.
Okay. So you're an engineer. By definition, engineers are analytical. Okay, you get trained to be analytical. And quite simply, if you make a mistake, normally if you're building a bridge, you're building a rocket ship or whatever, a lot of people are going to die. It's just not you. So you're trained to be safe.
They train us to be risk averse.
Correct, and risk averse, and
to get excited with all the details and the numbers.
Yeah,
it's like for us.
Yeah, and trained to spreadsheet things to death. Okay.
And what does that mean for people that don't understand?
Okay, overanalyze it. Analysis, paralysis by analysis.
Which means you don't have to pull the trigger. Correct. You can just analyze it all day. Yeah,
just because you hit the send button or enter button on the computer, doing the numbers again, that's not taking action. So you overanalyze, you study things, you think of all the possible permutations, all the possibilities of what can go wrong. And if you do that enough, you'll come up with enough reasons not to do it at all. Because taking action isn't doing a spreadsheet. Taking action isn't listening to a podcast. Taking action is not reading a book, okay? Taking action is actually taking action. And that's why when we came up with a phrase to describe QLA, we borrowed Nike's. They say, just do it. So we say, just do it, to add some emphasis to it. And but if you're an engineer, an accountant, a lawyer, a doctor, a scientist, a computer, a PhD, etc. You have learned to study and to take action in a certain fact pattern, okay? And that fact pattern is not a gunslinger like at the OK Corral pulling his gun and shooting, okay? That is, well, how's the wind coming? You know, is the sun at my back or is the sun at his back? You know, how many of them are there on their side? How many? You go through all these permutations. When a good entrepreneur makes decisions a lot based on his gut, okay?
You can decide on a deal in 60 seconds.
Yeah, sometimes less. The guy with a closer to 80 IQ was responsible for a 400 million pound deal, healthcare in this country, okay? He was a joiner, carpenter.
Right.
Okay, he had 1 O level. For those of you in Britain, you know what that means. He had a D in joinery. Okay, 180 IQ. Let's go up about 80, 100 points. The guy is on the Hall of Fame, and he's doing with his 180 IQ. He went to university 4 days to take 4 finals each year. He never went to class. Graduated top of his class, and also computer science engineering. Okay. And he's doing 10, 20 million euro deals, and he's never even come close to a 400 million pound deal. Because the computer scientist, you talk about analyzing it. I mean, he's waiting for, on the 29th of February, all the moon and everything to be juxtaposed, and so he doesn't pull the trigger. Whereas the carpenter, he just jumped on it like like stink on shit. And just, was persevering, just kept driving, and until the deal got done. And you only have 2 times to make a first impression. One's how you look. 2, what comes out of your mouth. Okay? A lot of guys and gals look the part, but as soon as they open their mouth, they are engaging in self-sabotaging activity. In 1986, the female hand pressure per handshake was 98 pounds per square inch. Average, okay. 2016, it's 108. Men, 1986, 114. Men today, 96. 2016, not today. Not that I need that validation that we're turning more to snowflakes. Not that I need that validation
what does that mean?
Well, it means that men aren't what they used to be. Men aren't the guys today, are not the guys that settled the Western United States in covered wagons and they went from the East Coast to the West Coast. Men aren't the guys from the 14 and 1500s that sailed the oceans blue to find various parts of the world.
Right, and that's hurting us.
I mean, in a devastating manner.
Because they're not pulling the trigger and not taking action and risks, which is how we survived.
Correct.
Instead, they are having self-esteem issues.
Correct.
Because they're being told that you shouldn't be aggressive, the patriarchy is bad, you have privilege, and you need to tone it down.
Correct. Well, not just tone it down, not have it.
Right. What you taught me to do is to engineer risk into my life.
Correct.
So now every time I'm faced with a decision, or sometimes even when I'm not faced with a decision, I just think, how can I engineer more risk in this situation? Whereas before, I would try my hardest to engineer less risk in the situation, which meant growth was slow. And I played it safe. And at the end of the day, it didn't matter anyways. What, so a couple people thought I failed?
Yeah, so you played, instead of playing to win, you played not to lose. 98% of the high-performance people on the planet are not alpha males.
Explain that.
Okay, they're beta males, okay? Elon Musk, Warren Buffett, Bill Gates, Zuckerberg, all have one thing in common. They're introverts, they're not alpha males. 98% of the.
A few engineers in there.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. But you don't have to be.
All right.
But if you want to be a role model, kids don't do what you tell them to do. They do what they see you do.